Hello, this is my review of STIHL GHE 355. I'm not a YouTuber, but I found only one non-promotional review of this device before buying it, so I thought I'll share my thoughts. I own it for 3 days, but I went through a lot of material already. We have about 2 cubic meters here of mulch, which took me about 8 hours, including blade sharpening. So I believe it's worth about at least a year of normal usage. So I thought I'll share my thoughts. So you can see the mulch coming from it is quite small chips, so it's really like flakes. You can see if your blades are sharp, it will really slice the wood into like a potato chips, compared to a crush and shredders that will basically provide much coarser mulch. What I'm dealing with is I trimmed lots of conifer pines there, so I had this huge heap. I'll try to put in the picture here. It was basically like 3 meters long heap, 3 meters high, and also pruned lots of pittosporum, this kind of overgrown hedge. Very fibrous tree. If your blades are sharp, it's really hard to cut. So what do we have? So first, build quality. Well, build quality is absolutely excellent. You can tell it just by the power cable. It's thick, it's soft, reminds me cable of my Makita vacuum. Really nice cable. You can fumble with it all day. Makeshift cable holding device, actually provided by STIHL. I took a display unit, so mine came assembled, so I don't know, but judging by instructions could take you like an hour or two. Very thick plastic, very sturdy, soft, doesn't look brittle. Thick rubber or rubber-like coverings here. As you can see, again, it's seen some usage. Wheels, strong wheels, no wobble here. Again, very thick plastic, so it all feels like quality. It's very light, so I can easily maneuver it with one hand. You can tip it, move it anywhere you like. These two knobs is all you need to undo to see the blades. The problem is they have very long threads, so you have to unscrew and unscrew and unscrew and unscrew and unscrew and unscrew. Yeah, it begged me to install to glue some nuts or drill in a hole and place a bolt inside with some epoxy, so I can just undo it with my electric screwdriver. Lots of work otherwise. Okay, so here we go. Show you the blades. Show you the unit first, and then I'll do some work on that, and we'll see how it goes and how to operate it, because it's not without its quirks. So here are the blades again after about 8 hours of working. So 8 hours included wood preparation, etc. So you see they chip heavily. Basically you have two modes here. You have branch modes and greens mode. So with branch modes it rotates clockwise, and this is obviously the heavily used blade. So there is quite sophisticated design here. How effective it is the judges are still out on that. So you have basically six cutters. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Each of them has each of them has 4 cutting surfaces, which actually has more. So it has like 28 edges you need to sharpen if you want to sharpen the full set. 28 edges. So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Yeah, another 4. Yeah, so 24 edges you need to sharpen. On the other hand, there's really nice touches. So here, if you want to undo the nut, you just pop this thing in and it locks your wheel, so you don't need to do a makeshift, stick some Allen wrenches inside to lock it. Really nice thinking from STIHL. So yeah, feels heavy, feels massive, feels heavy duty, though again the edges chip easily. Mine have already been chipped in several places here, and that's after resharpening them twice already. What else? You just dump the stuff underneath. And that's basically it about operation. So you have control wise, you have two buttons, start and stop, and then you can switch from leaf mode to, sorry, from branch mode to greens mode. You twist the switch, you press the start, and this icon changes within a couple of seconds. It just reverses the blade direction, and I'll share my thoughts later on how to operate it, or maybe now. When it operates in the leafy mode, you can I haven't done any greens in the leafy mode. I try to do branches in the leafy mode, and while it works, it creates very coarse mulch. It basically crushes it somehow, though I don't understand, like it should be working the same. Basically you have the same sets of blades, just rotating the other direction, and clearances will be different here, but somehow it makes serious kickbacks and creates a very coarse mulch, and I'll show you that in a second. So let me put this video on pause, put some safety gear, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so material we are dealing with again, because my camera has died, I have to redone it. So this is 37mm conifer pine measured with the caliper. This is about as thick as it will comfortably go, again with sharp blades, and if you apply feed control, and you'll see me doing that when I'll start operating it. And we have another Pittopostorum, as I said, very fibrous tree. You need the sharp blades to cut it. So I'll put my safety gear and we'll give it a kick. I hope my camera will not die on me this time. Let's start with some twigs. Something thicker. This is our 30mm tree. Typically I would rip the bigger branches off, because when all these needles come in, they create lots of load, and sometimes it just gets choked. So let's have a look at the mulch. The pine shreddings, really fine pine shreddings. When you hit it right, it really creates like a small fine shavings. This is the thicker parts, I guess. When you feed it in the middle, it hits those sticking up middle blades, if you remember, and they just crush it, so it becomes more coarse. But overall, you can see really fine material. Again, the sharp blades, it provides really nice fine mulch, which I like a lot. So you probably saw me standing not behind it but on the side. This is really crucial because this thing, despite having two rubber leaves here, sorry about the bus, it will throw stuff out. It will kick back on you if you you know, the blade spins clockwise. If you hit it to the right, it will actually kick back in your, if you stand right behind it, it will just kick it back in your face, which of course is not nice. And there's like a sign here embossed saying push the sticks to the left side, just where the blades goes in. That's why I'm standing on the left, and I take this stick. Usually I have any twig here, yeah, let's say it was a big stick, so I'm pushing it like that to the left, so it will go to the left all the time. And you can feel it. You hit the blades and then they start cutting and it doesn't kick back. You'll hear that shredding sound. So overall, maybe as the next thing, let me show you what would happen if I'll operate it on the greens mode with the branches, and you'll see the difference and enjoy me watching doing, and yeah, it'll be quite fun to see me doing that. Fun goes. So let's service it. When operating this thing, you will be very quickly proficient with screwing and unscrewing these knobs. Okay, so, and this is the cut. I wouldn't call it a cut, more like a shred or cut or crush. Anyhow, let's screw it back and I'll try to finish it. Safety feature. If the right knob is not fully in, it won't start. Now watch the right knob. You see? Safety. This machine is all about safety. So again, this was the green mouse, and you see, no matter what I did, they'll push it from the right side. You know, the blade spins counterclockwise, so I push to the right instead of left, and I just keep kicking back and ferociously. I was really jumping out. You can see it kind of crushes them. Still don't understand it. Blades look symmetrical to me, but you can compare these shavings to these huge splinters. Anyhow, I originally thought, well, I have basically two sets of blades because they sharpen from both ends, and I can spin it to one direction, get them down, and spin to another direction. And still, it's possible if you're willing to compromise on the quality of your mulch. So doable. Final thoughts. You need to be very determined to operate this tool in high loads. For thicker materials, and by thick I mean still within its spec of 30 something mil, it's all about feed control. So you notice me, I was standing close, I was pushing the stick in, I was doing like in out, in out, in out, in out, and I was listening to the motor all the time because it has its speed. When you bring it in, it starts cutting, you see it slows down, and because there is, as a human, we have like 3/4 seconds reaction time. I just pull it in, bring it out before I hear it stopping, because I know it will eventually start stopping, and I won't react on time to pull it out before it stops. So again, take the thick branch and go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and eventually it chews it through. So again, it does find chips, but you need to work it out. You grab the branch, you stand nearby, and you really have to apply the control. So that's one thing. I mean, it's not the STIHL to blame in a way. In Australia we have 2400 watt sockets, so I mean they can bring like 4 horsepower motor here. All electric shredders in Australia are underpowered because they are limited to the 3 horsepower models, and I believe STIHL squeezed whatever they could. I thought they, you know, it's very expensive stuff. Price wise, it was $8.50, which is just $50 off RRP. And for this price you can almost buy like a petrol one. I just didn't want petrol because I'm gonna use it once I go through these heaps, and I have another huge file down there. Once I'll go through these piles, I'll probably use it once a year, and it would be a waste for a petrol one just to maintain it. So I want an electric one. Yeah, and it's laborious. It will be, you know, 5 hours per cubic meter of mulch or something like that. and you need to work it, you need to sweat it, but it does the job as long as you are willing to sharpen the blades, and you have to do that every several hours of continuous operation. So another thing is height. I'm 185 centimeters tall, and this thing is 145, I think. So yeah, if you're on the shorter side, you'll have troubles and your face will be closer to the chute entrance. That means you'll get any kickbacks and any, you know, twists and lashes from the branches, you will get them in your face. So on the other hand, this thing is like super safe. So you see the difference. I cannot get with my hand to the blades, even really if I wanted to. So like even if I stick my shoulder all the way in, I can't reach to the blades. But that's why you saw me pushing my hand in quite previously to feed control. And the final annoying stuff is the chute, not the chute, the exit chute, or leg thereof, I'd rather say, because this stuff piles up. And you see, I worked on 4 branches, and I already have to move it because I see through this hole that the heap is coming all the way to the entrance, and it will start clogging. So I'd rather it to have some gooseneck that will throw stuff away, so I won't have to maneuver it all the time. So basically what I'm doing, I'm starting on the right and I'm moving along my hip to the left as I progress with my branches, and when I'm done, pause the chipper, take my shovel, rake at all this stuff up and move the chipper to the right and start again. So my final thoughts, I would give it 3 out of 5. So let's call it the most expensive and the best underpowered chipper, electric chipper in Australia. 3 out of 5 because of the chute, because of the lack of the exit chute. Yeah, and maybe because STIHL should have be clear with themselves, saying, hey guys, and girls, with 3 horsepower there is no point of making electric shredder, not at this price point, and call it, you know, top of the range. Because yeah, if you like to work hard, if you have that fun in feeling your wood being shredded, and you are keen on sharpening your brains, not your brains, but your blades every now and then, and you have a good sharpener. I use Work Sharp Canonion that has like a very tiny, narrow 3/4 inch belt where I can get to in those smaller wing blades that you saw. If you got those, then you can sharpen it. So again, if you are tall enough, if you are willing to apply muscle every time for feed control, if you are keen to sharpen your blades, and if you don't mind that lack of the exit chute and maneuvering all the time, then yeah, I think you can enjoy this tool. So I kind of expected that. I knew that it's gonna be underpowered because there's no magic. I kind of hoped STIHL will stick kind of a 10 kilos flywheel just to keep the momentum when the heavy sticks hit the blades, but they didn't. So anyway, I learned to accept its deficiencies. Yeah, so I think for like 500 bucks it would be a good device, but for 900 I think it's overpriced for what you get, considering the amount of muscle and skill both in feed control and blade sharpening you need to put in to get it working. So here it is. I hope you find it helpful, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to follow up in the comments. Here you have it, STIHL GHE 355, also sold in Europe as a green Viking GH355, not surprisingly. Till the next time, see ya. Postscriptum. Later, when inspecting the chute, I figured out why it works well in branches mode, but has such a kickback during greens mode with the branch. You can see that notch which locks the branch in place and gives you an opportunity to feed it directly to the blade, while there is nothing like that on the left side, so your brain just keeps dancing around, jumping out all the time.